Hey everybody, what's going on? Sorry that this label is a little bit crooked, but this is going to be a little bit of a review on the Easy Pan. Basically, these are a 2x4 foot replacements for the old-fashioned fluorescent lights. Now, this has been up in my basement in the laundry room for fucking years, and it served its purpose pretty good. But fluorescent lights aren't really energy efficient anymore, especially with the ballasts and stuff. They use a lot of power when you first turn them on. Once they're on and they stay on, they kind of regulate themselves and they don't use as much power. But turning them on and off, especially in my house where they're in the basement, and every time you go in the basement, you turn the lights on. Every time you go upstairs, you turn the lights off. And it seems like in my house, on, off, it seems to be the kind of way to go. So we picked up 3 of these panels. One of them we already installed inside the laundry room, and they're pretty easy to install. And these other 2 are going to go into the workshop in the basement and get rid of the fluorescent lighting that is in the ceiling in the shop. Now, these are pretty fucking bright. I gotta say, brand new fluorescent tubes on a new ballast and everything else. They look good and they work, do their job. They light up the room and shit. But these son of bitches here, my God, the fucking light that comes off of these. Now, these are LED panels, and these ones here are just white. They're not daylight, they're just white panels. See? And they're also dimmable. So you have 4 wires that come off this, actually 5. 1 wire is a ground. So you have a white and a black, which are your alternate power going in, and then there's a purple and a gray, I want to say. Those go to a dimmer switch. So these are dimmable, which is kind of cool because there's a lot of LED lights that are out there that you can't really dim them unless they say dimmable on them. But they started off as just being normal, on off, and then they start coming out with the dimmable ones, which are a little bit more expensive. Now, these kits here are pretty easy. Now, that drawing that is on this label is basically your LED panel. So it's very thin. These are about as thin as a newer style flat screen TV. Now, these are not cheap. These things are like $70 a piece. So we picked up 3 of these, and we're going to pick up more of these. And we're also going to line up the garage with these things too. And there should be enough light for what we got to do. So let's go into dungeon and check one out. No? All right, so there's a standard 4x2, 4 tubes, 4 foot long ballast fluorescent light. And this is supposed to be daylight. So it lights up in here pretty well. It's not too bad. You can see everything pretty good, and the mess that's in here. But it's bright, but it's not like really, really bright. And those are new bulbs inside there. And how you tell bad bulbs? Well, the ends start turning dark, and the fluorescents ain't putting out the light that they used to when they were new. But or they start flickering, or one of them doesn't come on, or something like that. It's just But yeah, those are new bulbs in there, and they're my guitars, kids' toys. But yeah, I mean, it works out pretty good, not too bad. So if I go into the laundry room area, and let's see if I could do this in a way where I know that the light affects the camera and the camera dims down. So if I kind of like show an angle like this, you can kind of get the idea of how bright it is inside here. So let's go over to the laundry room area. I don't mind the mess in this area over here. This is basically the laundry area, and I'm standing in the doorway of the workshop that's in the basement. So you can see that is a 4 foot by 2 foot LED light. And I can actually like mount that to the ceiling. I'll show you how this is mounted in a bit. But as you can see, don't mind the mess in here. For a small room, now I'm inside of the workshop area. I mean, this is pretty bright. And the other room is about the same size as this, where the light is. This is pretty damn bright. I mean, it works out really, really nice. Let's get a closer view at the top of this. All right, so now you're looking at the top of the light. Now here is the thickness of the light itself. That's nothing. I mean, it's not even a half-inch thick. These are how you hang these. So it's basically the same way you would hang up a regular fluorescent box. They got hangers. And you can also, if this was going the other direction with the joists, you can actually screw these, get it closer and screw these to the joists. Now there is a box that sticks up. That's right there. Now these are supposed to, if you run like say, we have 110, but if you run 220, these are supposed to adjust automatically for the 220 input for power without having to modify anything with the lights themselves, which is pretty cool. And again, these things are dimmable, so you can kind of dim them. Right now, they're on a fixtured pull switch, and I just have a extension cord, well, kind of like a power wire, connected to it. Make sure you ground these things, because it is, it does have an electric circuit board inside of there, so you want to make sure it is grounded. But yeah, I mean, these things are pretty bright, and again, it's just unbelievable how much light these things give compared to just the regular fluorescent tubes. And again, don't mind this mess inside here. It's just kind of like a storage area. This is the catch-all area. This is the area where everything ends up when it's not being used and stuff. But they're easy to hang, very, very lightweight, and one person could do it themselves. In fact, I did. But they're LEDs. I don't know. I haven't taken it apart. I mean, you can take these things apart, and I haven't taken it apart yet to see what makes them tick. And I don't know if there is row by row of LEDs inside there, or if there's just something around the edges of it, or what. But it puts out pretty much even light throughout the whole thing, as you can see. And again, it lights this area up pretty nicely. So that's my little review of the LED replacement fluorescent panels. And we're going to do the workshop next. Now the workshop has basically just a regular standard LEDs, or not LEDs, but fluorescents inside of here. And it does the job and stuff, but if you're working over the counter and doing whatever, it's a little bit of a pain in the ass. Sometimes you get shadowing and stuff, and the other two that are in the garage right now are going to end up in this room. So I'm kind of wondering how bright this is going to end up being when it's done. So let me show you the paperwork for the specs. Yeah, I finally got strings on it. Look, it's together. The specs of this thing is pretty cool. You can get them in different sizes. So you can get a 1 by, let me shut this light off. I think I got the light on. Yeah, there you go. So you can get a 1 by 4, a 2 by 2, or a 2 by 4, that's in feet. The wiring part of it, which kind of shows, let me see if I can get rid of my hand shade. See, that's what I don't like about working in this room, is you get a shadow. And where's my shadow? Why am I getting a shadow? The shadow is me. Oh shit. There, that's a little bit better. So the lights, you can actually put a dimmer on them. And it tells exactly how to set that up. And again, these are supposed to be to where you're able to, the adjustment as far as the power goes it'll adjust itself. They fit in any standard 2x4 or 2x2, whatever. If you have, say, like the ceiling tiles like we have down here, they'll fit perfectly in there. So pretty cool. Saves a little money. They're about, I think it was like $69 a piece or $79 a piece for these things. So they're not that cheap. And enjoy.